Hello everyone, welcome back to Believers IAS Academy, Bangalore. This is topic of the day, and today's topic of the day is bridging the skills gap, India's workforce readiness challenge. In this video, we will discuss the challenges that are in front of India with respect to its workforce, skilling, with respect to gender disparity, and related data, and also we will see how India can address this so that the demographic dividend doesn't turn into a demographic disaster. Okay, so very important video, and I'll be giving important data with along with the sources, so note down the data. Context: India produces a large number of graduates annually, yet faces a crisis of youth unemployment and unemployability, reflecting a mismatch between education and job market needs. Recent data from the EPFO, ILO, IHD India Employment Report 2024 and the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs Report 2025 underscore the urgency of skills development and the employment linkages. There are two words which you have to remember, which you need to understand properly. One is unemployment, other is unemployability. What is the main key difference between this is? In unemployment, the individual is searching for a job. Okay, workforce, a person in the Indian workforce or any workforce is searching for the job actively but is not able to find the job. So there is a job crunch here. There is no issue with respect to skills. He might possess the skills necessary, but he doesn't have the job. In unemployability, what happens here is a person from workforce is searching for the job, and the job is there, but the skills or the demand needed to do the job is not there. This is unemployability. These both can be called as a dual evils or dual crisis to Indian employment sector. Okay, very important points. Understand this. Okay, next, understanding the unemployment landscape in India. According to the EPFO enrollments of 2025, youth, that is aged between 18 and 25, comprise a large share up to 18 to 22% of the new formal workforce entrants, which is a good sign. It is a good sign because more youth are coming under the formal employment. When you are able to register yourself under EPFO, what does it mean? It means that you are under the formal workforce. Post-pandemic formalization is improving, but informality and underemployment still persist at the moment. There is a reduction in or increase in the formalization or reduction in the unemployment, but informality or underemployment still persists. What is this underemployment? Underemployment is another word. Underemployment. This underemployment is that the skills you possess and the work you do, there is a mismatch between the skills and the work you do. Okay, for example, sometimes what happens here is an engineer is working as a professor or lecturer in a school. What's his skill set? His skill set is supposed to be engineer, but where he is working? He is working as a lecturer or a tutor in a small school. Or for example, a diploma graduate due to unemployment, he is working in agriculture. So this is underemployment, meaning he is not able to find the job which is suitable for his skill set. So he has to settle for less. That is underemployment. And one more thing along with this underemployment is something related as or called as disguised unemployment. Disguised unemployment. What is the disguised unemployment? What happens here is there is a work or a task, say X. This task can be done by labor force of 4 people. Okay, it can be done efficiently by 4 people, But in disguised unemployment, what happens here is instead of 4 people being involved in the job, there are 6 people involved in the job. So these 6 people, of these 2 are undisguised unemployment because the marginal rate or the marginal effort put by them is negligible, is not resulting into the completion of work here. That is called as disguised unemployment. This normally happens in family businesses or mainly in agriculture. This is also a serious issue. Okay, so this, what happens here is it will consider these 6 people as employed. So what happens in disguised unemployment is, though the employment reality is very different, the employment rate shown in disguised unemployment is high. Okay, so that is why disguised unemployment is also another issue. Next, excuse me. Next is youth unemployment crisis. This is a very grave issue. That is, youth form 83% of India's unemployment at the moment. 83% of youth are unemployed. Unemployment is highest among the educated, especially those with secondary and higher education. So this case is very dangerous for a developing country. Okay, there is a country and which is blessed with youth population. If these youth possess skills and if they are able to get the jobs required, what is it going to do? It is going to do profit, increasing GDP, and it is also going to create employment again. So there is a virtuous cycle happening in a country with youth with the proper skills who are able to find the jobs. This is the cycle which resulted in the success of many of the Southeast Asian countries. And a best example here is Japan. Japan had a large youth population, so it got the benefit of the skills and the jobs, etc. And it was able to jump into 3rd place in total GDP. And it was at the 2nd place in total GDP for some time before being overtaken by China. And this is also what happened with respect to South Korea. But at the moment, both the countries are going through some other issues, that there is a declining population or demographic winter, what they are calling, or demographic collapse, what are they calling in these countries. That is a different issue. But during the 1970s to 1990s era, this is where they were going through the demographic dividend and they were able to reap the demographic dividend with the focus on skills and job sets. Now, imagine a situation, the alternative to this. Imagine a situation that there is youth, there is skills, there is jobs, there is gap between both the skills and jobs. There is less gap, there is less jobs, and there is less skills. What happens to here is more people will be unemployed. So when they are more unemployed, what happens here is instead of the virtuous cycle that happened in South Korea or Japan, it will lead to a vicious cycle. Vicious cycle. If this person or the unemployed youth is not able to find a job, what he is going to do is obviously going to fall into the hands of organized crimes. Or even if he is able to find the jobs, he will be in underemployment or disguised unemployment. So what will this result in? The standard of living, all the indicators, everything goes down. When everything goes down, instead of resulting in the increasing of GDP, now the state has to support them. As a result, GDP growth is going to go down. As a result, the country which aspires to become a developed country from the developing will go from developing to underdeveloped. Okay, so if India is unable to address this issue, that the higher number of youth not able to find a job, if India is not able to address this issue, then there is a very high chance that the GDP is going to get affected and the society is going to lose standard of living, and also India stands the danger of getting into underdeveloped, which is nothing but a demographic disaster. So that is why this video becomes important for you. Next, unemployability in the digital age. As I told you, there is an increasing unemployability because of these various reasons. According to Economic Survey of 23-24, only 50% of the graduates are job ready, meaning only 50% possess the skills that are demanded by a particular job. Key skill gaps are mainly in digital literacy, professional skills, communication, and problem solving. Just because you passed a degree, you are not going to find a work here. You have to pass the degree. Along with that, you should possess certain skills such as communication, digital literacy, which are now considered to be fundamental to succeed in a job, fundamental to do a job efficiently. If you do not possess them, more chances that you are not going to get the job here. Indian Unemployment Report of 2024. According to this, 75% struggle with simple email attachments. They do not know how to attach emails. Next, 90% lack basic spreadsheet proficiency. What is a spreadsheet? It is proficiency in Microsoft Excel. Indicates a serious mismatch with the demands of a tech-driven economy. These are the very basic or very fundamental things that an individual is required to possess, which many of the or 50% of the graduates are not able to possess. That is a key or severe issue India is facing. Now, there is also silver lining, that there is, whenever there is a channel or challenge, there is always opportunity. So the opportunity and the threat. According to World Economic Forum Future of Jobs Report 2025, by 2030, 170 million new jobs will be created. That is 14% of the total employment. And 92 million jobs will be displaced due to automation and artificial intelligence. So 170 minus 92, net gain will be 78 million jobs. Net gain of 78 million jobs contingent on reskilling and adoption. So there is opportunity. The opportunity in this sense is that though 170 are offsetted by 92 million jobs, you still have 78 million jobs with you, but to access or to get these jobs, you need focus on reskilling and adaptation or adaptability. The job market is going to change, the skills needed for those particular jobs is going to change, so you have to adapt yourself to those particular skills. You have to adapt yourself to reskilling. Only then you will be able to at least gain the 78 million jobs. Okay, next, structural and policy reforms required. So we'll discuss what India should do. First is education industry integration. Make industry academia partnerships mandatory in higher education. That is, industry should act from just being a recruiter to enabler. At the moment, industries in India are playing a role of just recruiter, but now they should also play the role of enabler. They should create awareness, they should provide training to the graduates that these are the skills we require at the moment and this is where you should train them. Okay, link college accreditation to placement outcomes, hold institutions accountable for employment generation. Just providing or placing up placards outside of your college that so and so or 90% or more than 90% placement is there in our college, it is not going to help you. Now what is there? We need accountability. Okay, 90% of jobs, which company, what kinds of profile, what kind of skills, on what basis they were recruited. So that has to be an accountability nowadays. The accountability should be held on these institutions who are providing those placards. Okay, next, curriculum and pedagogy reforms. There's a need to change these as well. Establish idea labs and tinker labs in school and colleges. Incorporate soft skills, foreign languages and liberal arts into technical education as well. With this, you will be ready-made for the 21st century jobs. Emphasis on interdisciplinary learning. So this has to be changed with respect to curriculum. Next is global labor market readiness. That is, train youth for international migration and work, especially in the aging Western economies. As I told you, Western economies and the developed Japan and South Korea are going through a process called as demographic winter. Demographic winter or collapse, meaning the birth rate is collapsing and the death rate is same. So more elder people are there, but younger people or younger generation is less now. Younger population is lesser in these countries. So there is a dearth of labor. There is dearth of people who are finding the jobs. Now this gap or this dearth can be filled by Indians or Indian citizens. How? Only if they are trained. Only if they are trained with the soft skills, communication, etc., etc. Okay. Example: India EU Link for Skills project via International Institute of Migration and Development plays an important role in this aspect. This can be your example, or this can be your way forward, or the best case study. Institutional overall: establishing Indian institution or Indian education services on the lines of Indian administrative services or the Indian police services to bring talent and accountability to the education governance. Okay, dedicated Indian education services. Encourage industry professionals to teach, bridging the gap between theory and practice. So way forward need should be focused on from degree to deployment. India's demographic dividend risks becoming into demographic disasters without these things. One is you need skill alignment with industry needs, digital and vocational upskilling, global job readiness, stronger education employment linkages, coordinated action among the government, academia, and industry is essential to create a future ready workforce and to avoid this demographic disaster and turn this into a demographic dividend. So, this is the video for the day. This is the topic for the day. I've given important content, important data, as well as explained you the issues. So if you like the video, then please hit the like button, comment on it, and also share with your friends. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon so that you don't miss any notification. With this, I will end the video. Jai Hind.